we're going to be taking a look at the new Sims 4 Greenhouse Haven kit. This kit is all about creating the perfect greenhouse for your Sims, and it comes with a ton of new build buy items, over 20 to be exact. So I'm going to be using this kit to build a beautiful, realistic looking greenhouse, and I'm going to be using a few other packs as well to supplement the build. So let's get started. I'm going to build a greenhouse that is a T-shape. I don't want this to be super huge. I think what I'll do is make each section 4x4. Let's center it nicely. There we go. The reason I'm making this T-shaped is because a lot of greenhouses that you see are vaguely T-shaped, you know, the larger ones. And plus it makes for a more interesting layout than just a rectangular square greenhouse. I've laid out the T-shape as you can see here. Now I'm going to make it look like a greenhouse. We want to check out the new windows and doors from the greenhouse kit. And to do that, normally what you'd do is you'd click over here in the filter items and you go into kits. However, for some reason, my game is borked and I'm actually going to have to go through this and find the kit windows myself. Bit of an annoyance, but it's fine. Here we go. The open green view window is what you want to look at. Green view window and open green view window. So I am pleasantly surprised by the variety of swatches in these windows. I want to put a nice amount of open and shut windows just to give it a little bit of visual appeal. We're going to do the white in the French windows, just because that, to me, that's my favorite. Saying that, I think I'm going to put in some mesh windows as well. So instead of these French ones, let's just do standard open style pane. Once I change all of these, then I'll put a few mesh windows in. So let's add the door as well. And the door, so here we go. Here's the green view double doors. Gonna make it white, and you can see they match seamlessly. Same exact color, perfectly blush with each other, just seamless. Love how they've designed that. The roof gable makes your greenhouse look cohesive from top to bottom. Let me show you exactly what I mean by that. So let's draw out the roof here. And I'm just going to use a simple gabled roof for this. The glass roof that was included in this is the greenhouse glass roof. And again, I'm just going to use white. As you can see with the roof, it gets rid of the ceiling when you add glass roofs. Now, the only thing I don't like is that you've got that weird end piece there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete that. And I'm just going to take this roof piece and draw it all the way out. And you can see that that equals no side roof pieces there. So here's the green gable. So basically what you do is you put it on the rooftop there, and you just bring the roof down until it matches up. And I'm just going to do this on all of the sides. And finally, I'm going to take the roof sides themselves and cinch them in just like this. And you can see that this gable gives you a really nice, seamless look between the roof and the wall. And if you add in a roof trim as well, that just completes the look so that there is absolutely no gap. And finally, I'm going to do the wall. This kit did come with a specific siding. Here we go, the greenhouse wall. The greenhouse wall, as you can see here, comes in loads of different swatches. We're going to use the siding and the white. I love the siding. It matches the gable and looks so much better in my opinion. So I think personally that this gable here is one of my favorite items in the Sims 4 Greenhouse Haven kit. It's such a small thing, but it really makes a huge difference. Looking at the exterior of the greenhouse right now, I'm really happy with how this is turning out. Let's fill it with plants and do the interior. Now, I am super excited to use as many of the new items from the Sims 4 Greenhouse Haven kit that I can. All of the items look so nice, and of course, they fit the greenhouse aesthetic perfectly. First, let's do some flooring. I'm going to use the greenhouse pavers. We're going to make this a little bit more interesting. Instead of all of the bricks being this textured, I'm going to go in with some of the untextured, just the cracked bricks. Just, again, just at random here and there, just to add a little bit more pleasing aesthetic and to break up the same texture just a bit. You don't want the same texture all throughout, especially when you have such a detailed texture like this. It just looks a little bit too samey. So breaking it up just a bit here and there really can make all the difference. When building, never be afraid of mixing and matching different floor tiles. You never know what's going to look good together if you don't try. The seaside cottage might look really nice. Let's make a path just going down the middle here. So I'm changing the direction of the tiles by clicking Control and the greater than and less than symbol. You can see here, it just changes it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a little bit of an interesting pathway here just to break up the fact that we're using two different textures. It's going to take me a minute, but basically it's with platforms. So what you want to do to make platforms is you create a wall like so, and I'm going to, this is just to, again, break up everything just a bit and make it a little bit more interesting. Looking good, everything is fine. Make sure that moving those platforms didn't mess things up, which it doesn't appear to have done so, which is good. So your Sims will be able to come in, step down, and then they'll be able to come up here onto the platform to be able to do their work. This is a nice open space. I mean, it's huge, but it's too open. So I think we're going to use some partitions to divide the space a little. There's Eco Lifestyle Tall Fencing, and it looks really, really good, I think, or it will look really good in something like this. So let me go into Eco Lifestyle. And this is what we want, is the Waffle Weave Bamboo Fence. Now, just to make it match, I'm going to use the white, and I'm going to place fences by drawing. If we do like one there, and then maybe another one there, that just breaks it up quite nicely and just adds a little bit of a partition. Maybe you want one area to be for crafting activities and one area to be for specific plants, To me, it adds a little bit more depth to put partitions in. Now, I've already put in the walls, and just as a reminder to you all, these walls, you want to put siding or paint or something in the walls, because even if you couldn't see this bit up here, if it was all windows, your Sims will notice that it's unfinished and they will get a negative mood buff. So always paint your walls just to keep your Sims happy. I'm going to take these partitions and I am going to go a little bit further with the partitions because they're kind of plain. They look like trellises. So let's put something on there to make it just a little tiny bit better. So I'm going to go into the vampires and get together packs, and I'm going to use a little bit of ivy. The different ivies that you get in the game are absolutely beautiful, by the way. And in my opinions, it just looks so nice. So let me make sure that I've got move objects on so that we can just put things wherever we want. Now, I'm going to take these thorns, I'm going to size them down, and I'm going to carefully alt place them there, and then use this also sized down and put it there. And then we've got this ivy here, lush wall ivy, sparse wall ivy, dense, and ye old university ivy. So I'm going to use the old university ivy in just the standard green here. So basically, in case you're wondering what I'm doing, is I've put a wall back here in place of this fence, and I'm adding the ivy so that it stays on the wall instead of trying to snap to the other wall. And then I'll put the fence back in its place. Remember, in The Sims, if you cannot get something to work, there are usually ways around it. I do love building in The Sims. I just find it so relaxing. And again, grab the fence and draw it in. And now we've got a nice ivy-covered fencing, two different kinds. I should add. I think that this with the vampire ivy looks really nice, but what do you all think? I love it, especially how the thorns down at the bottom kind of peek out from underneath the fence. Next up, we need to decorate and fill the space with lots of decorative items to create a really beautiful and inviting space. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna put everything outside for now. Part of me wants to do the moon petal from Werewolves, and I think I'm going to. I know exactly where I'm gonna put that, where it'll look really nice. I'm also gonna draw out a few base game stuff. I am resisting using custom content, so I'm gonna add some of the werewolf stuff in as well for this. I have to admit, I love the fact that the Sims team keeps adding more and more plants. In my opinion, you can't have too many plants in The Sims. It's great. If you make a mistake or you need to cover something up, put a plant there, you know? You could even add a cow plant in here if you wanted to. And I have to admit, I am very tempted to add a cow plant. Let's put a cow plant right there, because you have to have a little bit of silliness in your builds, right? Now this All the Rage plant cage, I think, is a perfect addition for this build. That, I think, looks really, really nice in any greenhouse. And of course, let's not forget all of the clutter that comes with this kit as well. We've got the wall-mounted garden hose reel that we can put in, which I'm going to do. We're going to put it right there. We've got the blooming basket as well, which I'll put a few scattered here and there. We do have this gathering of garden stones, which I think I'm going to put over here. We're going to enlarge it, and I'm going to put them basically so it looks like the cow plant roots are going through and between all of the little garden stones. I think that'll look really nice. So I'll put the mega table in. It's a base game item, and it will work. Right, so I'm just adding, like I said, some shelving and tables and stuff just here and there throughout this build, just to make it a little bit more interesting and a bit more fun. Right, let's go ahead and go into lighting now, and I will grab this wall light that came with the Greenhouse Haven kit as well. So I'm just putting in just a few little lamps here and there. I think I'll put one like right here in between those two windows, just at the top. I think that will look really, really nice. Right, let's move in all of these plants. And now the problem with platforms is everything is going to be a bit problematic to get in, but that's okay. Just inch everything in just super, super carefully so as to not upset the Sims gods. I'm going to put that right there next to the cow plant. I think I'll put that there. As I'm decorating, I'm realizing how much more realistic the greenhouse looks thanks to all of these new objects. In the past, you had to use the already potted plants that were like in various packs or the base game, but all of these little pots and stuff really make the greenhouse just look so much better in my opinion. Platforms can be such a pain, but I love using platforms because it makes the build look more interesting. If you have raised or sunken platforms, I just like the looks of it. I want to take this pot, and I'm actually thinking I'm gonna move this and put it here. I'm gonna put this here. I love the idea of having palm trees in this build. So if I do this and maybe size it down a second time and then raise it up, and I have to go in close so I can see what I'm doing. Put it there in the center. Okay, so the leaves aren't going through. That's good. Now what I want to do is I want to find a dirt clump right here. Dirt mound placeholder. And if I raise that up and very carefully, I might have to size it down and like put a couple in there, just like that. I think that looks pretty good. Now, of course, we do need to add a few things that are actually usable as well. So I'm going to put some plant pots on the actual floor, and then I'm going to put like a flower table here or something. A few here. I'm wondering how many I can get here. Probably not more than like 2 or 3. So let's do 3, and that's probably the most that we can fit here. Sim should be able to get into all 3 of these. And then down here, I do want to put a couple of vertical gardens. I'm thinking maybe I can put another one here. There we go. That should work. I want to put a table over here, some kind of crafting table like the flower arranger. Here we are, the violets are blue flower arranging table. That, I think, will look really nice just here in the end here. We've got the raised beds here, the vertical planters. We've got the 3 small planters here. We've got the flower arranging table, which I think is a really nice thing to add in every greenhouse. We've got the moon petal flowers and a cow plant, because you have to have a cow plant. If you have anything outside, you gotta have a cow plant, right? And finally, just as an extra thing for this, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a nice path leading out here, break it up again like so, and I'm thinking of bench. The final thing for outside, we'll just add like a nice little tiny bench here for, for your gardeners to sit. It's kind of important, isn't it, to be able to sit down. But I'm thinking this cute little bench here, let's make it a dark wood, just so, it kind of pops a little bit so it doesn't blend in. We want it to pop just a bit. And we can even do a little bit of pavement here. Maybe we can do this and just kind of wrap it around like so. And then a little bit of dirt, just make it pop just that little tiny bit more around the edges of the greenhouse. I think the last thing I want is an air circulator. This came with the kit as well, so we're just going to grab a few in white. And just a few of these should do the trick and should finish off our build quite nicely. So we'll put one there. Actually, I'm going to put them above inside the wall. Put another one here. And one more just there. I think that will do the trick. I filled up the entire greenhouse with decorative plants from The Sims 4 Greenhouse Haven, as well as a few other kits. We've got blooming rooms, we've got werewolves, and all of that. Anything that I like the look of that I thought was would look good in a greenhouse, I put it in, including this palm tree sized down and put in a pot with some dirt clumps that I just put in to the pot. So what do you all think? Do you like it? I'm quite happy with the way this turned out. I could probably add a few more plants and a few more things on the tables, but I don't really want it to be too full. If you decide to download this yourselves, I want to leave enough open for you to add your own personal touches as well. And speaking of which, I'm going to put this on the gallery just for you. We're going to name this Merry Greenhouse. I have no idea. It's just what my brain is coming up with on the fly. I'm going to save this as a generic lot for you and put it over on the gallery so that you can download it and use it in your own game if you wish to do so. It's coming up modded, but just so you know, it's not modded. If you want to download this yourself, you can do. It'll be on my gallery. I'm Murdragon over in the Sims 4 gallery. Just search for my name and then make sure that you ticked modded content when you get to my catalog, and you'll be able to find it.